Who's behind you? Somebody? Yeah, what?
God.
God? God like this. Okay.
Fundamental.
Fundamental? Fundamentals, sure.
Worship.
Worship? Okay. Yep.
Spirituality.
What's that even mean? All right. I'll put it up here. Yep.
Supernatural.
Supernatural? Okay. Yep.
Divine law.
Divine law? Divine and law. Is that right?
Faith.
Faith? Yep. Practice? Something that tells you how to live? Like, kind of like meaning? Or like rules, laws? Creed? Okay, I will put creed up here. Big definition. All right, yeah. Sorry. Her first, and then I'll come up to you. Morality and tradition? Good. Morality, sure. Tradition. Okay, it's getting intense.
Doctrine.
Doctrine. Sort of like creed, doctrines. Yep. Hope. Okay. Hope right there. Top.
It's a system or a construct.
Origin. Okay. It's going to be a long definition, right?
Purpose.
Purpose, like meaning purpose. Good. I feel like I could get at least one word from every single person, right? Existence? Yeah. Okay.
And follow.
To follow? Followers? Okay. Pretty good?
Obey.
Obey. Obedience, something like that. It's sort of in here. Okay.
Community.
A community? Good one. Good? Pretty good? Okay. I mean, we can add lots more words, right? But definitions in dictionaries are not like 50 words long usually, right? They're usually like, this is kind of what it is. So you can be like, ah, yes, yes, right? All right. Let me just take a quick look here. Pretty good word. All right. Good. All right. Well, let me try to make an argument to you. Last time I told you that I moved from Canada to Arkansas my senior year of high school, right? And when I moved, one of the things I quickly realized that was culturally different from Canada to the United States was the sort of focus of the community and the religious practices, right? So let me make you this argument. When I came to the United States, I found that the religion in America was not what I expected. Football is not just a religion. In America, football is the religion. Think about it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Arizona Cardinals and their fortunes, but ask a Cardinal fan who's really committed and they'll be like, oh, I believe. This is the year. I've got faith. Morality is deeply entwined in football. There are literally like laws and rules, right? The commissioner is like, thou shalt not beat your wife and get caught, or whatever, right? thou shalt not do illicit narcotics and get caught, or whatever, right? So there is a morality, and if you do, people are like, I can't believe you did that and got caught. Right? A lot of hope. People have hope, sometimes unnecessary hope. If you're a Cardinals fan and you think this is the year for the Super Bowl, I don't know, you've got probably oversized dose of hope, in my opinion. It provides people with meaning in sometimes ways that I find a little strange. Like, people have tattoos on their bodies, things on their, like bumper stickers on their cars. I've seen people with like shrines in their homes, right? And if you see them like after, especially after a playoff loss, they come into class or into work on like a Monday and they're just like, and you're like, whoa, what happened? Did someone die in your life? And they're like, no, we're out of the playoffs. And you're like, really? Is this going to be something that drags you down for the entire week? And they're like, yeah, it's not going to drag you down. Right? So for some people, that provides a lot of meaning. And when the season is over, you see people who are like, I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself for the next few weekends. It's like, I don't know, hang out with your friends and family? Is that a no? For some people, football really is fundamental in that way. I've seen people be like, hey, you want to hang out this weekend? No, I've got tickets to the game and we couldn't possibly. Creed and doctrines, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by this, but there are like doctrines in the sense of like what you can and can't do. There are creeds to sort of acceptability, be a good role model, that kind of stuff. I'm not quite sure about that one. Origins, there's origin stories. Did you guys know that the NFL used to be 2 leagues? But then, once upon a time, a long time ago, they came together, 2 leagues, to form 1 super league with 1 Super Bowl. Think about Super Bowl as a holiday. What's the #1 day that people call in from work in America? Actually, it's the day after Super Bowl Sunday because they're too hungover to go to work, right? I mean, that's really what it is. Whether you are a fan of football or a fan of the teams playing in the Super Bowl, people come together to watch the game for the thing I don't think you guys have up here that I think is critical. No religion in the world can survive without food. If you don't have food, people are not showing up. If you've got food, people are like, what do we believe in today? Yes, I'm in, right? Food's critical. This idea of the supernatural, spirituality, God, I've seen people pray intensely for their team to win. Like in weird ways where they're just like, God, I haven't asked much lately, but if we can get this 1 win, I'd be willing to chop this arm off. And you're like, whoa, I know there hasn't been a playoff win in a while, but that seems like a huge sacrifice. People are like, hey, you gotta sacrifice if you want to win. There is some level of this, I don't know which one of these, but both in the sense. It's not quite to the level of like how does Larry Fitzgerald do the things he does? Is he superhuman? Is he more than other humans? Because when people on like ESPN and on the replays show it, they're like, how did he do it, Larry, right? And there's a way where, I don't know if they're quite to the level of saying, and then the Cardinal mystically swooped down and carried Larry all the way and he caught them. It's not quite to that level, but not far off either. Right? But with it, some players are on the level of beyond the natural. They're like superhuman or something like that. Players are definitely worshipped, right? I mean, in ways that are incongruous with the way that they are role models. And they're just human beings, right? They make mistakes. But they're worshipped in a way that can become a real problem when they do things like break the rules. There are literal laws and rules, right? There's a guy on the field who's like, nope, you broke the rules. Right? But there's also like the commissioner who's like, we've got a video of you doing some stuff. You broke the rules. Right? There are practices, they literally practice on the field. Right? But there's also other kinds of practices and traditions that go together. If you've never been to a football game and you go to, I don't know, first of all, let me point this out. In archaeology, when we look at ancient civilizations and their cities, if you look at the largest buildings in those cities, it shows what they communally value, right? It takes a lot of resources to build those large buildings. If you were to look in the valley, what are some of the largest buildings in the entire valley? Stadium to the Cardinal is the temple, am I right? Right? And if you go to the temple on like a game day, I mean like hours before, like you can go like 6 hours before the game starts, and there's all these people with a certain amount of food, they're wearing their Sunday best, Right? They're definitely interacting as a community, and there's certain traditions, there's certain foods you eat, certain games they play. Every time you get there and you're like, you guys realize the game doesn't start for like several hours? And they're like, oh yeah, we know, we're getting ready. Right? It's part of the tradition, it's part of the practices that you do as a fan, right? Just to point this out, the word fan, like fan of sports, comes from the word fanatic, right? Fanaticism comes from religion, right? Religious fanaticism. That's where it originates from, right? People definitely follow players and teams intensely and that kind of stuff. There is a system to it. I mean, there's rules, there's a way it's played out. There's also a system to how the draft plays, trades, all those kind of things. So it's definitely a construct. It's not something that like exists in nature. We made it up, right? We made it up and people are devoted to it intensely, right? And it's definitely a community. Both in the sense of like football writ large, but also for each team, right? Think about this. If you are a football fan, say you're a Cardinals fan and you're in another American city, I don't know which one, let's say San Francisco, where the 49ers live. You go to the airport and you get off the plane in the airport and you don't know anybody there, but way in the distance you see somebody else also wearing their Cardinals jersey. You don't know that person at all. And yet, I've seen this happen. People be like, rise up, Ritzy! Bring it in, buddy. I don't even know you, but we should hug it out and talk about football. Why? You don't know them. What is it about them wearing the same shirt as you that allows you to build an instant bit of community? Is that any different than people wearing crosses and seeing each other in other countries and suddenly being like, oh, right? That was really that different? Seems like, based on a lot of these, or at least in a general way, a lot of these, the way that you sort of describe religion, football sounds like a religion, doesn't it? Not just a religion, in America, the religion. Sometimes people talk about things like an afterlife is a part of religions. Do you guys know who Pat Tillman is? Who's Pat Tillman? Right, so he played at ASU, he played his collegiate ball at ASU, he played pro for the Cardinals, right? So he's an authentically sort of Arizona product, right? And then after 9/11, joined the Army Rangers, goes to Afghanistan and gets killed, right? And as a result, outside of the temple, the stadium, there's a statue to him. We have a day set aside for him. Here we do a run and raise a bunch of money to a foundation for him, right? His name has a real afterlife. Do you guys know there's other Army Rangers that have also been killed in service? Do you know any of their names? It's because they're a member of the wrong religion, am I right? Member of this religion gets a real afterlife. Other religions, not so much. Football is the religion in America. What do you guys think? Should we cancel? I don't know which one you guys want to cancel, but we could like maybe cancel one of these religions that we were going to study and study football for like a week and a half instead. No? Don't be a hater. Come on, I just described how this is very much looks like a religion. Why not? Why is it not a religion? Why isn't it when you looked at the course schedule and saw world religions, you weren't like, oh, we're going to be studying football probably like week 5? What's the difference between religions as we think about them and football as it's described kind of like this? Sort of any ideas? What makes religion different than, say, football or something else that looks kind of like religion but isn't quite? Yeah. Divinity? It is something to do with these, right? At some point, football maybe there's people who pray, right, and stuff like that, and it's maybe attached in a loose kind of way. But one of the real differences with football, and I think this is a pretty good term to kind of focus on,